I met my boyfriend in college 7 years ago, and we started dating 5 years ago. He is super close and loving with my family. He was there at my niece's births, baptisms, Christmas, vacations, etc. We are extremely committed to each other for the long run, but don't want to get married until we are financially stable and both our careers are where we want them to be. My sister has been with her fiancé for 2 years and engaged for 6 months. My sister is the type of girl who has dreamed of getting married since she was a little girl. It didn't matter who proposed, she just wanted to be married. I have never cared if I got married or not, as long as I have a good career and a happy relationship I'm fine. In the beginning of her relationship she tricked me into going on a double date with her fiancé and his brother. She had said it was dinner with her and a friend, and it was most definitely not. The brother kept making passes at me the whole time and I told him I had a boyfriend and the whole situation made me uncomfortable. At their engagement party my boyfriend noticed that the brother wouldn't stop staring at me and we tried our best to avoid him. Every time I have seen this guy he has been weird towards me. My sister wanted me, my twin fraternal, and 2 brothers in her wedding. The wedding is supposed to be next month in the beginning of May. My sister just told me that I'm going to be walking down the aisle with her fiancé's brother. I told her that he makes me uncomfortable and I thought I would be walking with my own brother. Apparently this is something her fiancé is insisting and she wants to make him happy. Seems like a pretty weird thing to insist, and I know it's some scheme between the 2 brothers. My other siblings also thought it was weird and voiced their objections to our sister. She got upset and said this is her wedding and she'll do what she wants. I told my boyfriend this and he was upset for me. He's confident enough in himself that he knows this guy would never be competition, but he knows how uncomfortable I am with this situation. The other day we had family dinner at my mom's house. I took this as an opportunity to bring up the situation with my mother around. My sister got extremely upset and started crying saying I was trying to ruin her marriage. I was so confused, as was everyone else, and tried to explain that he makes me and my boyfriend extremely uncomfortable. She then said that I can't bring my boyfriend to her wedding anymore and if I do then I'm no longer a bridesmaid. She gave no reason as to why I can't bring him and my siblings were just as upset considering they like my boyfriend a lot better than my sister's fiancé. I thought I would give her a few days to calm down and rethink, but she has not changed her mind. My 19-year-old brother's girlfriend is still invited to the wedding. My boyfriend is an incredible guy and has been nothing but kind and generous to my sister. His feelings are hurt but he still wants me to go to the wedding. I think my sister is being an unreasonable a-hole and I will be pretty pissed off at the wedding if my life partner is not there with me. Being her bridesmaid is something I can live without. So should I bring my boyfriend or go without him? Or should I demand that my boyfriend be allowed to come to her wedding and that she's being super unfair? I love my sister but I don't understand why she's forcing some silly request by her creepy brother-in-law. I don't know what to do and my family is no help either. Update 1. My F25 sister F31 doesn't want my BF M26 at her wedding. BC her Bill M29 is infatuated with me and I punched her in the face. Don't know what to do now. I posted a few days ago about my sister F31 saying I F25 can't be in her wedding if I bring my boyfriend M26 of 5 years. That post has since been removed, but I will quickly summarize the situation because it has escalated. My sister's fiancé's brother has made several sexual advances at me in the past and my sister has encouraged it. She tricked me into a double date. My relationship with my boyfriend is very serious and we will get married sometime in the future. The brother has always made me uncomfortable and I try to stay as far away from him as I can. My sister then decided that I was going to walk down the aisle with him, instead of with my brother. That was the original plan. Therese, 4 of us siblings, 2 guys, 2 girls. I told her at family dinner I didn't want to do that. Some arguing was involved, she was crying, then she said I can't bring my boyfriend to the wedding and if I do I am no longer a bridesmaid. Most of the comments said I shouldn't go to the wedding at all, but she is my sister and I don't want to miss her wedding. I went to my parents' house with my brothers and told them about everything the Bill has done that makes me super uncomfortable and how my sister is disrespecting my relationship. My dad was pretty pissed off about the date stunt that she pulled and is on my side. My mom, however, says that I need to try and resolve this with her because if I am not part of the wedding party people will talk. I honestly couldn't give a shit about what extended family has to say. My mom called a family meeting and told my sister and my twin to come to the house. My dad asked her why I was no longer walking with my brother, to which she responded saying that it's what her fiancé wants and she just wants to make him happy. I pressed the issue asking why is this such a big deal for me to walk with him and that he's super weird and I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to assault me. That really pissed her off. She's starting crying and yelling saying a bunch of BS how this is all she's ever wanted and we're trying to ruin her special day, blah blah blah. I was tired of the arguing and just straight up said I'll go to the wedding as a guest then I'm leaving before the reception. My twin and younger brother took my side and said they don't want to be in the wedding party if I'm not. This made my sister lose her fucking mind. She was screaming now, calling me a bunch of names that I can't say on this sub, a BH, CT, WRE, and also calling my boyfriend names. I decided to leave and let my parents calm her down, but before I could walk out she ran at me and yanked my hair still screaming. She wouldn't let go, so I yanked hers too and she let go. She has extensions and apparently I fucked them up, and ripped some hair out. She tried to grab me again, So I punched her in the face. I didn't mean to hit her, it was just my instant reaction to someone coming at me. So now she has a black eye, a cut on her cheek, and missing some hair. She's absolutely livid because her bachelorette party is next week. My mom is mad at me, my dad is not. My sister is now saying that she's going to press charges against me. Can she actually do that, or is she just trying to scare me? She's also pissed off because my other siblings won't be in the wedding. She told my mom if I apologize to her and agree to be in the wedding, she'll let me walk with my brother. I feel like that is BS, and she will still make me walk with the bill last minute. At this point I feel like it's not worth the trouble and I just don't want to go at all. My mom and dad want me to do what she asked because they're paying for the wedding and want all their kids there. My twin and younger brother said they'll do whatever I want to do, but I don't think I should be the reason they don't go. My boyfriend feels like he started all this drama when none of it is his fault. My sister believes I ruined her wedding, she ruined it herself, and I don't know what to do. So options are go to the wedding as a guest, be in the wedding, or not go at all. My parents will be upset if I don't go, and I really don't want any more tension, but she disrespected me and my relationship. As soon as this wedding is over I am going to limit my contact with her for a while. Update 2, my F25 sister, F31, doesn't want my boyfriend M26 at her wedding because her Bill M29 is infatuated with me and I punched her in the face. The first part of this is written before the wedding and the second part will be after the wedding. First off, I want to say I didn't know this post had blown up like it did until a few days ago. When I first posted it, it only had about 30 comments, and now I've seen thousands and received lots of messages. I've also received some messages and read some comments about how I'm not responding to people or answering questions. I don't think I'm required to answer anyone. I've heard tons of crazy theories and lots of people saying they hope my sister attacks me again or I should get her arrested or scream rape at her wedding. While these are all interesting, this is unfortunately my real life and not a movie. I will try and clear up any questions in this post. Some people asked if race is an issue, and it's not. My family is French and Puerto Rican. My boyfriend is Italian and my sister's fiancé is just white-eyed. What his ethnicity is. There was also some confusion about my siblings. I am one of 5 kids. My twin is a girl. I guess that got misunderstood when I said 2 girls 2 guys. I meant that besides my sister getting married there was 4 of us walking down the aisle. I kept saying twin instead of sister so she wouldn't get confused with the one getting married. My sister is second oldest. Also, don't think money is an issue either. My family's not rich, just middle class. The reason her wedding is getting paid for and not mine is because she didn't go to college and I did. They paid for majority of my tuition, and I don't want a big fancy wedding either. Some people also asked why they don't revoke their money from her for this behavior, but the wedding has already been paid for a while, so there's no getting their money back. My sister did have a black eye still at her bachelorette party and changed the venue to a darker place, and she wore lots of makeup. My twin, brothers, and me and BF went to the club that night instead and had a fabulous time and got trashed. I heard from her friend that she was telling everyone she got hit with a car door and not my fist. My sister has always been a bit unhinged. When she was in high school, her and my twin used to fight all the time. Every breakup my sister has ever had, she has broke down and shut down completely and felt her life is over. I've seen this since she was 12. I used to get in lots of arguments with my parents over them excusing her behavior, which ultimately made me decide to go to college across the country. During college I rarely talked to her. When I came back home she had matured and our relationship has been good for a while. She still occasionally has huge meltdowns over small things like this wedding. I sent my future Bill a text asking why him and his brother are so obsessed with me, to which he didn't respond to. Me and my dad went down to his place and he said my sister was the one who kept telling him that I was interested and would leave my boyfriend. So I don't even know which one of them came up with this plan. My dad got mad and told him to leave me and my boyfriend the fuck alone. So I have told my sister to go to therapy for years and she's refused. I tried to have my mom see if she can get her to go to family therapy with me and she also refused, but said she would talk with me and my mom. When her and her fiancé first started dating, she brought him to a work New Year's party and he brought his brother and I also attended. This was her first boyfriend that had shown any interest in getting married one day. I guess the brother had said he found me very attractive and my sister instantly jumped the gun on that. She told him that I was not in a serious relationship. I had been with my boyfriend for 3 years, and he had a strong chance with me and he's just my type. Wrong. So he's been under the impression that my boyfriend is just a placeholder, which is extremely not the case. He's just as delusional as my sister. This made no sense to me why she did this, because my twin is single. We are fraternal, so we don't look the same and we're different heights with very different personalities, but she's still a very pretty girl, and single. My sister has expressed some jealousy of my relationship over the years, so that could be a factor in her trying to break us up. She's always made comments about how she'll never have what I have with my boyfriend. About a month ago, right before her ultimatum, she found out she's pregnant. I didn't know. She thinks if she doesn't make this brother thing happen, then her fiancé will leave her, and being a single mom is more frightening for her than her family hating her. It's still early enough that she does have other options, but she's committed to this for some reason. This was an intense conversation and also talked about other things, so this was all I could get out of her before my patience ran out. I did kinda snap on her and said some things along the lines of, sorry, you're so pathetic that you date any guy who looks at you and you still can't find a good relationship, and I can. You will be divorced before labor. Yes, it was a little mean, but I was very heated in the moment and wanted to say something worse. My boyfriend is very adamant about us going to the wedding despite all the bullshit my sister is putting him through. My boyfriend doesn't have close relationships with his siblings and has always loved being a part of this family. He wants me to maintain a relationship with mine so I don't regret it later. He's still hurt though that my sister has been going through these great lengths to get him out of the picture. I've tried to reassure him the best I can that everyone still loves him and I always will. We're going for the ceremony as guests and then leaving as soon as they say I do. My two brothers and twin sister are walking together as a trio. We took wedding pictures together at a park so our parents could have something of all of us, and we looked good. They haven't decided yet if they're staying for the whole wedding, but they're gonna feel it out. My older brother is staying the whole time so he can watch the brother and have some words with him. A lot of people said to have my boyfriend propose at her wedding, but I don't care enough to deliberately try and ruin her wedding. That will not make the situation better in the slightest, and I honestly don't ever want a public proposal, and I think that's super tacky. Me and my boyfriend have just been enjoying us and not worrying about any of this BS. I'm not worried about my sister attacking me again, and if she does I can easily kick her ass. She can't fight for shit, which is why I don't know why she fucked around in the first place. Also, some people said, isn't it incest if sisters date brothers, but it is not at all, and I have cousins who are married to sisters. Not excusing the behavior, just saying that's not incest at all. After wedding. So, the wedding. I showed up in my bridesmaid dress because I wasn't gonna go and buy another one, and it's a very nice dress. Me and my boyfriend tried to go in as late as we could to limit the amount of family asking me why I'm not in the wedding. A few aunts and uncles asked, and I just said my sister lost her mind and to ask her. I tried to stay with some cousins who I told what happened and know how my sister is an occasional nut. The ones who knew that my boyfriend's invite was revoked were pissed, considering some of their plus ones were just dates. We sat in the front row where my sister, her husband, and the brother could see me with my very serious, handsome, amazing, loving boyfriend. He held my hand the whole time and made sure I was okay. This wedding just confirmed me not wanting a big wedding. We can have a party at most. It was only once that the brother was staring at me and I quickly shut that down by kissing my boyfriend. As soon as they all walked back down the aisle, I said my goodbyes to the people that deserved it and we left. We went to a bar and danced and had a good time. I'm glad I went to the wedding so I can say I told you so when this marriage ends in 6 months. I'm glad that delusional Sob saw me kissing the man I love, because that will never be him. My twin had quite a few drinks at the wedding and was being very mouthy with my sister. I didn't ask her to say something, but she would have done that with or without booze. My younger brother told almost every family member that my sister went apeshit on me, and that's why I wasn't at the reception. My older brother did talk to the bill, but I'd what he said. I didn't ask many other questions, and this is just what they told me. I feel really bad for my sister, honestly. She baby trapped herself with a subpar bottom feeder. That man has zero qualities that would make me jump through all these hoops. He has the personality of an Adidas sandal. I wish my sister had more self-respect and raised her standards. I don't know much about their relationship and if he's abusive. I would like to think that she at least has that much respect for herself to not put up with that. Maybe they're in love, maybe he's using her. Who knows? This marriage may not last, but she's now attached to him for at least the next 18 years. While I sort of get her reasoning for not wanting to be a single mom, my brother is a single dad and doing just fine. I don't plan on talking to her for quite a while. I don't know how things turned out for them for not getting me with the brother. After prying, they still wouldn't give me clear answers, so I don't know how serious the husband actually is about his loser brother getting laid. Those brothers were either neglected or breastfed till they were teens. I was already going on vacation this summer with my boyfriend, but I might extend it now, who knows, may even get married in France for shits and giggles. Anyway, thanks for all the support. Sorry that this ending wasn't as dramatic as you all wanted it to be. I'm not expecting an apology, I honestly don't care anymore and just want to move on with my life and be happy and not deal with any more psycho behavior. I'm just glad that I haven't received any messages from Bill or my mom and that I have a great man. If there's any questions I missed, feel free to let me know. A lot of your comments made me and my BF laugh. Now on to the next story. Story 2. How do I 24 meters, get my dad 52 meters, to release his wife 38 is not my mom and to quit pressing a relationship. My mom passed when I was 14. I was always closer with her than my dad, so I took it very hard and still missed her every day. My dad moved on extremely quickly. I'm talking about 1.5 months later, and he was openly dating his current wife. I suspect he was cheating on my mom. She moved in 4 months after my mom's death. Then, 9 months after her death, they announced their engagement on my birthday as one of my gifts. I obviously didn't take it well. Made a scene, dumped the cake they got me and walked out. I disappeared for a few days until they were about to put out a missing person/runaway report. I was forced to go back. They tried to get rid of all evidence of my mom, pictures, personal effects, memories, and others. I kept what I could and hid some others. They wouldn't let me celebrate her birthday or anything to do with my mom. They tried to force me to call her dad's wife, Mom. I never did. They would ignore me when I called her by her name. She would introduce herself as my mom. I would correct her every time. It got to the point that I stopped talking to her unless absolutely necessary or if I was correcting her. These talks were usually one-word answers. My dad got angry every time I didn't call her mom, use her first name, or introduce her as dad's name's wife. I once spent 2 weeks not talking to either of them when I was 16 because I was ruining their family dynamic. Until I can be a part of the family, there was nothing to say or do as one. They caved at about the 15th day of no communication/interaction. I turned 18 and left for uni and went extremely low contact and didn't go back. When I was 21, I got engaged to my fiancée. She knows about my relationship with my dad and his wife. She respects it and is on my side. When they found out my dad and his wife had a fit, they didn't know I was seeing anyone. My dad's wife posted on social media saying she was excited that her son, me, was getting married with a bunch of other things, saying she can't wait until she becomes a grandma. I made a short post saying I am not and never was her son, and she won't be a grandma to any future kids. My dad got mad saying I was disrespecting my mother and embarrassed her. I asked who we were talking about because my only mother was real/only/bio/gave me life mom, and at this point, I had lost both of my parents on that day when I was 14. That was 3 years ago, and we went back to low/no contact. But my wife is about 8 months pregnant. They showed up to my house. I never gave them my address. They wanted to talk and meet my wife. I didn't let them in and said to turn around and go back to where they came from. But apparently, they decided they wanted to move to my city/state to be closer and repair the relationship between us. She said she missed her son and wanted to be a better mom and grandma. I called them delusional and told them to leave and slammed the door. They bought a house about 5 minutes away from us. This has all been way too much for me, and my therapist wants me to let them in, but I would rather cut all contact. It wouldn't be so bad if they just would stop trying to replace my mom and act like she never existed. I honestly don't know much about my dad's wife. I don't even know if I know who my dad is anymore. My wife is struggling to support me, emotionally, and doesn't know how to help. Please, internet strangers, how do I convince them dad and dad's wife, she is not and will never be my mom? ETA, about my therapist. He said I should try to express my true feeling towards them in a non-hostile and threatening manner. Do it in a way that is constructive but gets to the point. Learn more about my dad and his wife and get to the root of who they are and how they feel about the situation. But I'm going to find a better therapist. Long update. Hello all. Thanks for your comments and feedback. I did read them all. I couldn't reply for some reason. Also, for those who said I must be fake because of a lack of replying/updates, the post got so much attention that it was locked in 24 hours. I do have a life with work and an 8-month pregnant queen that I have the privilege of calling my wife that took priority. To answer some questions and to clarify. My wife, me, and our unborn child are doing good overall. My wife is over being pregnant at this point. Our child should be here in the coming weeks. I did find a new therapist. I called to cancel the rest of my appointments on the books, and he did not take that well, so I have put in a complaint. I met with my new one and I like her a lot better. I feel like I'm actually being heard and actually getting the help I needed. I want to make this clear, I am 24. My dad's wife is 38. 14 years older than me. My dad is 52. 14 years older than his wife. So when she entered my life, I was 14, and she was 28. There were also theories about how my dad might have had something to do with my mom's death. That is not the case. But I still believe they were together before she passed. I am investing in a security system, but it will be a few weeks until they can install it. But for now we have a doorbell cam and some cheaper cameras. Social media. Since the post about her being excited about being a grandma, how my wife and I getting engaged, we have locked down all social media. My wife and I are not active on any platforms anymore except for messaging or sharing pictures. We found the leak as well. It is my Bill, wife's sister's husband. We had a family dinner where we had planned on working on the birthing plan. Bill was insistent on being there, which was odd as he was not a part of it to begin with. While we were waiting for my Mill to get home, I shared what happened between my dad and how it made me/my wife feel. Bill got visibility uncomfortable. When I called him out on it, he denied it, but it was obvious. Sil called him out, and he broke down. He said he had been talking with them because we need all the family support we can get and they should know their grandbaby. This caused an argument. It ended with Sil moving out and staying with us. They have no kids and had some issues. I think it is over for them. I will never trust him. Our birthing plan has been locked down and secure, made a day later without Bill. But we have some just in case of crazy showing up plans. Everyone who needs to know the plan/details know. Now, it is surprising hard to get a protection order. Where I live, it is heavily dependent on violence or physical contact. Technically, what they have done is not against the law yet. They are perceived as no real danger at this time since there were no threats made, and they left when asked to. They have free will to move wherever they want. Also, since a family member gave another family member my address, it is fair game. In regards to grandparents' rights, it is only when my wife and I have lost custody or are unable to care for them. But my MI landfill will be taking on that role if needed. My wife and I are not in a position to move. We just bought our house when interest rates were low, and my in-laws helped with the down payment. It is nothing massive, but it is home and perfect for our starter family. My dad and his wife are unable, shouldn't, have kids. I don't know from what side made it impossible. So that may be why the constant pressure. I did write my dad a letter summing up why I want no contact. How I feel about what they did. How his wife is not my mom and will never be. If I feel like giving them a chance, it is on my family's terms. Specified that my family is me, my wife, and any possible children moving forward. They are knit to talk to my wife or I at any time unless it is through our lawyer. He can decide what information to pass on. They are not welcome around us at any point. Including our house, school, daycare, social gatherings, birthdays, Christmas, BBQs, etc. As well as in public we are strangers. Keep space and act like we don't exist. If they break this, they will get a follow-up letter, up to and including a protection order. The letter was quite long. Our law lawyer looked it over, and my wife and I signed it. Then he signed it as well as it being notarized, and then we made legal copies for all of our records. My lawyer went with a private delivery service and hand-delivered it to him with a signature of received goods. Plus, video evidence as well. So far, so good on that end. I'm now focused on my wife and soon-to-be child. I hope I'm ready. I know how not to be a father, so there is that. Thanks all for your input. Is there anything else I should do or think of to protect my family?